Hey, today we are here for some mom rage help. Have you ever found yourself getting hijacked and then you snap and then it's not what you wanted and then you feel guilty afterwards? You're in the right place. I've got you. Hi, I'm Dr. Paul Jenkins. I'm a professional psychologist. I've seen this before. I know what we can do. Stick with me to the end of the video. I'm going to share with you 4 specific ideas that you can implement today. It's going to make a huge difference, I promise. First idea, I invite you to just open your mind and hear this. You are a good mom. I know. You could be better. I know the thing happened and you did that and you're not proud of. I get it. I am confident in saying you are a good mom. I know you could be better. We'll get to that. But you're a good mom. The fact that you're watching this video tells me that you're a good mom. Let me give you a little context around that because I'm not just trying to fluff you up. I have been appointed by the court to do evaluations for parental fitness. This is earlier in my career. I'm glad I don't do that kind of work anymore, but I learned a lot and I know that it could be worse. Your circumstances are exactly what they are. It could be a whole lot worse. And compared to that, I'm glad you're where you are. Now I know that it could be better too, but this is an energetic shift. As long as you're beating up yourself, it's really hard to take the productive steps forward. So I invite you to just take a nice deep breath, maybe in through the nose, hold briefly, and then out through the mouth. Shake it off a little and hear this. You're doing okay. And as you learn more, you'll implement that too, and you'll become an even better mom. So I've got you. You're a good mom already. Let's stop beating ourselves up and see what we can do to productively address this. Are you with me? Now, the second idea has to do with understanding what this mom rage is all about. Usually when we experience that intensity of a feeling, it's a sign of overwhelm. Most moms don't want to react with anger. They're just simply feeling the weight of everything that is on their plate. Our brain's job is to keep us safe. That's the number one thing that our brain is trying to do. And so your brain is constantly monitoring to see if you're still safe. When we get overwhelmed, it's a little signal to our brain that we're not safe. And it kicks us into what's called the fight or flight response. Now, I know you've probably heard about that. Fight or flight. Like if you and I were taking a little walk together and we're just up here in the nice foothills near my home in the beautiful mountains of Utah, and we come across a big angry bear that wants to rip our face off. Okay, what would happen to your heart? You know, that would start beating hard and fast. You're breathing, get kind of rapid and shallow, right? And you'd feel a little woozy maybe, kind of all of that flood of chemicals that go through your system. What's going on? Your brain is sending a little signal to different glands in your body. Now, without getting into an entire physiological discussion today, glands are just little organelles in your body that create and store chemicals, like adrenaline, for example. That's made by your adrenal gland, which is down here by your stomach and your pancreas. And that adrenal gland just makes some adrenaline and holds it for you. In case you need it, I made this for you. Let me know if you need it. And when that bear comes out, your brain sends a signal to your adrenal gland that says, oh, now would be good. And so your adrenal gland's like, oh, cool, that's what I'm here for. Squirt. And it squirts it right into your bloodstream. It's a direct injection of a chemical into your bloodstream. What does that chemical do? It gets pumped through your body. When it hits your cells, it has an impact or an effect on the cells in your body. So it gets to your heart, causes it to speed up and pound a little harder, right? And it causes these feelings. I'm taking a minute to explain that because I want you to know that what you're experiencing is a chemical response to your brain's interpretation of threat. And if you are overwhelmed, your brain doesn't think that's safe and it kicks you into the fight or flight response. Okay, now this is good to know, but there's another little thing you need to know about your brain. Okay, not all parts of your brain do the same thing. The part that kicks you into fight or flight is really kind of a primitive, it's a lower brain function. It's in your limbic system. It's down kind of near the brain stem and the amygdala. And it's a family of structures there in your brain that has the job to keep you safe. Well, guess what? There's another part of your brain right up here behind your forehead. It's called the frontal or even the prefrontal cortex. And this is for higher cortical functioning, things like thinking and logic and problem solving. Okay, that's a different part of your brain. We have brain scan studies that prove this. When your limbic system is fired up, when your fight or flight is going to town, there's actually a decrease in blood flow to the prefrontal part of your brain. Shut her down. And what are you not doing? You're not thinking. That's why after the fact you come back to it and you feel ashamed or you feel like, oh, what was I thinking? Well, you weren't. You weren't. Your brain has to take care of you, so it kicks you into fight or flight. Well, the problem is your kids are not a bear. I know you might argue with that sometimes. They look like little bears when their claws come out and when they're growling and snarling at you because you don't get a lot of thanks for being the good mom that you are. Well, it doesn't mean that you're in danger, but that part of your brain is going to kick in. I just want you to understand the physiological mechanism here because you're not bad for doing this. Your brain is doing exactly what it's designed to do. It's just not helpful to yell and scream at our kids. And you know that, and that's why you feel guilty and ashamed afterwards. Okay, so what are we going to do about this? Before we even get into that, if you've been there, if you've felt that, hit the like button on this video and maybe just drop into the comments what your experience with this has been. I guarantee you're not alone. One of the most powerful skills that you can develop is what I call the power of the pause, okay? In fact, you know what? One of my clients pointed out to me, I thought she was brilliant for pointing this out, that right here, there's two little lines right here. On like below your nose and above your lip, there's two little lines. That's a pause button. Oh, push the pause button. That's powerful. The power of the pause. Another way to say this, don't respond until the adrenaline is gone. This is really hard to do when you're feeling that surge of rage. What we really want to do here is pause long enough to get the blood flow redirected from that fight or flight part of our brain, that lower brain function, back up front where we can do some thinking. Because most of the problems that you get to solve as a mom require thinking. And most of those problems, if you were to fight or run away, and that's all your fight or flight brain is telling you to do, by the way. If you were to do either of those, it would probably make it worse. So we pause, all right? Just try pushing that pause button. Try it. It has an immediate effect. Oh, because it's a reminder to just not say anything while you're feeling the rage. But pause. Now, while you're pausing, what makes the pause powerful is breathing. This is a brain hack. And it doesn't even have to make logical sense because it's not that part of your brain that we're dealing with. In fact, let's do this together. Will you just do this with me? Get in a place where you can try this, or try it later when nobody's watching. But try this. It's in through the nose, and you overinflate the lungs a little bit, hold and stretch for just a moment, and then out through the mouth, nice and slow. You want to purse your lips a little bit, restrict the flow here so that you slow it down, okay? And you push it out. Most people, when they exhale, they leave about 30% of their lung capacity in there. Push it out, okay? We'll repeat that. So do it with me. Just try this. Okay, in through the nose, nice and deep. Stretch those lungs, hold just for a moment and check for any tension while you're holding. Okay, check your neck and shoulders. Now out through the mouth, nice and slow. And push it out. Okay, now in through the nose again. A little deeper this time, a little extra sip. Hold. Just briefly. Then out through the mouth, nice and slow. And again, push it out, okay? Now in through the nose again. A little deeper this time, hold, stretch, try to hold it just a little longer than you did before. You feel that? And then out through the mouth, nice and slow. Okay, now just breathe normally and notice whatever you notice in this moment. Do you feel that? It's different. Ding, 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 ding. Different is better, okay? Different means your brain just went through a physiological shift. This is literally a brain hack. We're hacking your brain to get it to calm down in that limbic system, redirect the blood flow up front. And notice in this moment, if you did the breathing, you're going to notice a little more clarity. Some people feel a little lightheaded or dizzy maybe. Your brain's not used to getting that kind of oxygenation to it, especially if you're stressed out. This little brain hack, so push the pause button, okay? The power of the pause, and while you're pausing, breathe. If you really want to lean into this, if you're ready to get past this mom rage, just remember 3 and 5, okay? 3 to 5 reps. We just did 3, but 1 rep is in through the nose, hold, out through the mouth, nice and slow. That's 1. We just did 3. 3 to 5 reps, 3 times a day for 5 days. You with me? 3 to 5 reps, 3 times a day for 5 days. What we're doing is programming the brain. I'm not saying do this when you feel upset. I mean, you can, but what we're doing is trying to reprogram your brain. We want you to be in charge, because either you drive your thoughts or your thoughts drive you. We want you to be in charge, and you're taking charge of your brain. Do the brain hack, practice it. That conditions your brain so that when you start to feel tipped over and you push that pause button, 1 breath, if you've practiced, 1 breath will be enough to redirect that blood flow, get you back into control. And there will be so many things that you don't do that you would have done and you would have regretted. Give it a try. Now here's the last piece. Learn to manage your mind. I just said it. Either we drive our thoughts or our thoughts drive us. Your emotions, those emotions that sometimes hijack you and have you doing things that you regret later, those are so strong, and they are caused not by our circumstances. See, this is the misdirection. It's not our circumstances that cause how we feel. It's our story, our narrative. It's whatever's going on in our mind about our circumstances. That's what causes our feelings. When you learn to manage your own thinking, this takes some practice through powerful models like the positivity model that I teach. That puts you back into a position of choice. And until you see the choice, it's not. Okay, listen to what I just said. Until you see the choice, it's not. Your programming takes over and we just go on that train. As you learn more about your own mind, and as you lean into your own personal development, it will put you in a powerful position to be an even better mom than you already are. I'm sure you've probably wondered this, like a lot of other parents have. Who takes care of the parents? I do. Watch this next video that I've made just for you. Who takes care of the parents? I've got you, and you've got this.